Good morning. It's time to wake up my roommates. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole and I'm an incoming senior at Northwestern University. I made a day in my life video about 2 years ago, but a lot has changed since then, so I thought I would update you all. Northwestern right now is on the hybrid learning style, so some classes are in person, but most of them are on Zoom, and I thought it would be really beneficial to show y'all what a day looks like in my life, where most of my classes are on Zoom, and I also get COVID tested. Stay tuned. Okay, so my first class of the day is 9 a.m. econ discussion. This is my roommate Caleb, and despite everything he says, he does actually love me. And that's my other roommate, Hillary Duff. After econ discussion, I had Zoom rehearsal for an hour and I didn't show faces because of privacy reasons. After that, I made lunch, which is an arugula salad with avocado, feta cheese, and tomato with lemon and olive oil. It's literally the best thing. I have it every day. Here I am finishing it. Super yummy, would totally recommend. While I'm eating, I usually like to do some light reading. And then I have my last class for the day. So I finished class around 3 p.m. and here I am now walking to campus to go to Beanin to get some practicing in. Okay, so right now I'm in one of the practice rooms for Beanin, practicing, but I thought now would be like a good time to give a little insight on how the university is handling COVID. So basically all of last spring quarter we were online, all on Zoom. They said that after spring break in March that students shouldn't return back to campus unless they needed to. So basically everybody went home for spring break and then just took all their classes online. The way that they did that was the grading system was pass-fail. Everything was on Zoom, like I said, and so they gave us updates throughout the summer, and as it got closer to September, which is when class starts for us, we start late September. They told us that we would be starting a week earlier, so instead of starting the week of the 20th, I think is what we usually start with, we were going to have our first day of classes on September 16th. So before then, they said that they were going to ship at-home testing kits to everybody who was coming back. They gave first and second years the options to either live in the dorms, because there's a 2-year live on campus requirement for Northwestern. They could do that, or they could find off-campus housing due to safety reasons. So they sent testing kits at home to everybody, took mine, and then you mail it back overnight, and then they give you the results. And the way that they did that was like if you were positive, then you were required to stay at home for I think a certain period of time before you were allowed to come back to campus. If you were planning on coming back to campus, you were going to be tested upon your arrival. And then if you tested positive to that, then you wouldn't gain any access to buildings on campus. So they had told us that fall quarter was going to be like a hybrid style, which means like some classes were going to be in person, but most of them are going to be online. They basically were like, oh, from September 16th until I think around the 20th, it was going to be like a wellness period. So no one was going to be having in-person classes. And then like 2 weeks before the 16th, so like around the beginning of September, they sent out this email and was like, first and second years aren't allowed to come back to campus, which is, I think, the right decision, but at the same time very poorly timed because people had already bought plane tickets and had scheduled moving companies and all of that. So I think it was a little bit of poor communication on their part, but at the same time, I think it was the right decision just because it does minimize the amount of people that are on campus. So what that means is for people that are currently on campus right now, whether that's like living on dorms because some juniors decided to live in dorms, some sophomores decided to live in dorms just for convenience, that means that like we are currently getting COVID tested weekly. So every week we schedule a test and then it's like pretty rapid testing. I usually get my results back within, I want to say, a day or two. So it's pretty quick. And if at any point I get a positive test at that point, then I will not be allowed to have access to any of the university buildings on campus. They all now have like a wild card, which is kind of like our ID card scanner at the entry of every building. And so in order to unlock the doors, you would need to scan your card. And if you have a positive test result, then they basically revoke that access. So for those of you who don't know, I'm an incoming senior studying political science and clarinet performance with a minor in legal studies. I'm on the dual degree track that Northwestern has, so I'll be here for around 5 years. So I might have an extra year after this, depending on how classes go this year. So my poli-sci classes have been fine. They're all over Zoom. That's how it was spring quarter, so I've kind of got the hang of that now. My music classes, on the other hand, that's kind of a different story. So last spring when everything was on Zoom, everything was basically put on pause. So no ensemble, no band, if you think of it, just because we couldn't really do that over Zoom. We did have small chamber groups where we would just record our projects and then put them all together on like a cappella app. In terms of practice rooms, I'm in one right now. There's cleaning supplies in every single one, and you get assigned a single practice room with 3 or 4 other people. So my roommates and my roommates are also all musicians, and so we just decided to apply for a practice room together since like we're living together, and that would just decrease the amount of germs that would be spread. How that works is that basically you only have wildcard access to one practice room, and then you just kind of have to divvy up the time between the 3 or the 4 of you. So it's definitely been a change, but I think that
Should we cross? We're in this together. Oh god, there's a line outside.
What are we doing? We're getting COVID tested. We're getting COVID tested.
Oh, alright. You're really gonna get the fence in the shot, huh?
got COVID tested, we got groceries at Target, and are now making a stop at Starbucks for that daily coffee intake. And then we walked home, and I honestly didn't film anything the rest of the night because it was just pretty chill. I just hung out with my roommates, had dinner, and went to bed. So thank you all so much for following me along a day in my life.